All right, ladies and gents, we're back. Got another one. This time we got a couple Marines here. Some Marines. Some bad motherfuckers. This is
Tim.
Just Tim, by the way.
Adams. if you really need my whole name, track me down.
And
Carlo.
yeah, cool. So they are both members of the gym. Just stand up, good dudes. And everyone knows how I feel about our special forces, first responders, Marines, Army, any type of military, all you guys. Braver and better than I could ever do it. So I respect it. I dig it. But there's always like different perspectives, you know, from outside in and questions I've always had, right? Sometimes I ask them maybe individually or just da-da-da, but, you know, now we can ask them for those who might have questions. You know what I mean? Cool. So, I guess the first one is, why did you want to be a Marine?
I guess I'll go. I grew up in a very small Midwestern town that is now known for its quality of meth. So I would at a very young age, I was like, "Ooh, cool! That's an awesome commercial." And then even then, I knew I needed to get out, so it just seemed like a way out.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was I was in my second year of community college. Like any of these punk high schoolers now, no real sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled in high school, so I was like, well, okay, I need something to do that'll get me on track in life. One of my grandfathers was a Marine, and he had passed away earlier that year in 2003. And so I'm like, okay, I did wrestling, I can do that. Air Force, now this is my opinion, right? Air Force, they sit around, they don't do much. Army, they seem undisciplined, not hardcore enough. Navy, I'm not looking for a boyfriend.
Yeah, no shit.
Coast Guard, they don't even really count, you know. Marines.
Marines the only way to go, baby.
So that was my mentality.
Yeah. To me, it seems like the branches of the military is kind of like brothers and sisters, right? Like, you guys pick on each other and talk shit because always be Marines, no, Army, this, that, and the other. But God forbid anybody else fuck with them.
Oh, Lord.
You come and take care of it. You know what I
hell
mean?
yeah.
But it's like, you know, I'll pick on you, but no one else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So it is mutual respect, just not for you. Get it?
Oh, yeah.
What did you do? Is it when you guys go in? So that's another question I have. When you go in, is it just everybody's the same, or do you get to go in and say, okay, I want to be X, or I want to be a person that's on the front lines. I want to be in a truck. I want to. How's it work?
If I take the helm
Yeah,
for this
go
one?
for it.
Reason why I'm asking is because I actually used to be a Marine Corps recruiter in Las Vegas. So when with a recruiter, low down basics is we have this call sheet for high school kids. We also have 2 years after they're done with high school, right? Contacting people, going out on the streets, trying to get someone to come in, go to their houses and whatnot. Now, if someone's interested, what we do, we screen them first of all, make sure they're at least basically qualified. If they are basically qualified, then we ask them, okay, well, what's the reason for your reason for being here? You know, not just, hey, I need a job, hey, I want to go to school. Well, what's the reason why you need a job? You know, what's the reason why you want to go to school? I'm the first generation to go to school, or I'm trying to help my family out. You know, there's always a need behind the need.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, you're given what's called the EAST, which is the pre-test for the ASVAB. So depending on how you score on that little test in the office, gives an indication to the recruiter, okay, this person is either dumb as a box of rocks or really smart, and we can put them in these fields.
Probably
so-
should have put him in the Air Force.
Yeah. You're too smart to be here. You got to go to the Air Force.
Yeah.
So from there, depending on what they score on the East, and then the ASVAB also really qualifies what you are capable of doing in the Marines, because it's not just everyone is infantry, because that's the basic premise for everybody's mentality. Oh, Marine Corps, all you do is fight. You don't do anything else. You know, you're a bunch of dumb grunts.
Yeah.
We have a lot of dumb grunts too, but
Yes.
everybody has a job,
Mhm.
and those jobs come in. You don't necessarily get to pick your job, do you anymore? I know I didn't.
Depending on what time of the year, all the boat spaces would open up in September, so you would have every single job open in September.
Okay.
The closer, the further on in the fiscal year that you got, the smaller the pool is to choose from what is available. So then there's always the dreaded open contract, where they will put you where the hell they want to put you. But if you score high enough, you can do intel jobs. You can do anything with computers. You can pretty much pick what you want to do if you score high enough.
What did you want to do?
I basically went in open contract.
But what did you want to? Did you have something you wanted to? Or you just wanted to be there?
I just really just wanted to be there.
Got it.
So if I was going to be a grunt, then I was going to be a grunt. I had high expectations when I first started thinking about it of being. I really wanted to be a mercenary. So
For hire.
yeah, but no, I wanted to work on planes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wanted to fly planes, so.
I ended up
Get it.
working on howitzers instead. Yeah, Artie Mac.
Well, I wanted to go in as a mechanic also, but when I got to MEPS, they're like, "Oh, you're colorblind. You can't do that."
Oh,
Oh fuck. Okay. Well, what's the next thing I could do?
You're colorblind?
Certain
Shut
shades.
the fuck up. Really?
Certain shades.
Wow. I never knew.
So my recruiter was like, "Okay, well, what else do you want to do?" I said, "Well, what's available?" Showed me what they had open. I'm like, "Logistics. You got to think. I'll do that." So with logistics, it's basically get people and things from point A to point B and track it along the way.
Mhm.
That's in a nutshell.
which actually is a job. See, now we tell these guys. I tell guys, if you go into the military of any branch, make sure that the job that you have before you get out is one that will transfer. Because I don't see a whole lot of artillery hanging out in people's front yards that need to be serviced. So logistics is a good one. IT, comms, motor T. If you can be a mechanic, a diesel mechanic, those are all HVAC, all those things. Those are all good jobs. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a grunt." It's like, okay, well, unless you're going to be a cop, that's not really going to do you any good on the
Or a contractor.
Yeah.
afterward.
yeah. So,
Not like Mexican contracting and construction, but going overseas and handling business.
Mm-hmm.
That's common, yeah? For military? Ex-military?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. That's fucking crazy. Okay, so now, fast forward to you want to be a Marine, you know you want to do it, you go to sign up. Departure, leaving for the first time. What was that like?
That was pretty rough.
Scary?
A little bit. Yeah, I went. I went from Missouri down to Little Rock, Arkansas, and then from Little Rock I flew to. That was actually my first real time away from home, and we flew to San Diego. And I spent about 3 hours just hanging out at the airport waiting for the liaison, and that sucked.
Even though MCRD is right across from the airport.
Exactly. You're sitting there and you're just waiting and waiting until everybody shows up. And at about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Everybody's finally there, and then you get this drill instructor that's just screaming at everybody, "Get on my fucking bus! Line up!" And you're just, oh shit, oh okay. And then boom, everybody gets on, and then it's just chaos from there on.
How old were you when you went?
18.
I was 20.
Youngsters, young bucks. And what about you when you left?
I was from San Diego at the time. So my recruiter, he calls me up the day of, because I wasn't supposed to go till January of 04. And he calls me up one day, early in the morning. He's like, "Hey, we got a spot that just opened up. I know you want to go as soon as possible. Are you able to go today?" I'm like, "Give me like 2 hours, make my phone calls, make my arrangements. I'm there." And so I did everything that I had to take care of, and took me to MEPS because they transported us that day. While I was at MCRD in San Diego, I knew exactly where I was.
Mm-hmm.
If I really wanted to leave, I knew how to get out, and I could call someone within 20 minutes and be back home. Even when we went up to Pendleton for the range and all the hiking portion and the firing, I knew where I was. So while everybody's watching all the planes fly, I'm like, I don't really care. I'm just here. Let's get this done.
Yeah. So you weren't really nervous, or was no big long goodbyes?
No. I knew the physical aspect wasn't going to break me. I was 132 pounds in wrestling condition.
Damn.
Yeah. And so physically, it was nothing. It's always the mental aspect that's the most difficult.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Believe it or not.
Always.
Always.
Like, what do they try to do?
They will break you down so that you question everything about yourself.
Why am I breathing?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I here?
Am I doing this correctly?
Am I doing this fast enough?
Yeah.
What detail did I miss? Why? And then because later on in life, I actually asked one of my drill instructors that question. He looked at me like I was insane, for one, and then he's like, because if you don't pay attention to the littlest details, somebody's going to die. I go, okay, that makes sense. But it didn't make sense at the time when I'm over here polishing the bottom of my freaking rack. Like, what in the hell does this matter? But it's that little bit of attention to detail that if you don't tighten a particular bolt tight enough, like let's say on a boiler or something, you're on ship, then that bolt works loose. You caused an accident. Not only could you have killed yourself, but all your fellow Marines and sailors. So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All those things are dope lessons, I think, have to be applied to life now.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's so much loosey-goosey, who gives a fuck, I don't need to. And now we got these pussies running around with no sense of work ethic, no direction, just lazy as fuck and entitled as shit.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's wild. So, I think, I don't know, even school now is different. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Teachings and things. Like, when we literally, one of my best friends was held upside down in a classroom by our math teacher. It was awesome. Because he was talking back. Shit's red. Granted, it's
it is awesome, yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some years ago. But now it's like, kids can misbehave, do whatever they want, touch me and I'll sue. You know what I mean? Talk all kinds of shit with zero repercussion. Mm-hmm. There's zero consequences.
You can't talk to me like that. That's emotional abuse.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm only trying to prepare you for the real world, you little bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's, dude, just soft ass. It stresses me out.
Yeah.
As you guys already know. I get stressed out here dealing with some of that shit.
Yeah.
So, you guys get there, or we're actually not get there. That was the question, is did you guys ever deploy, and where'd you go?
I was in 90 through 94, so that would have been Desert Storm. I did not get deployed. I was supposed to be deployed, but my unit was never called, according to the paperwork that I've read.
Yeah.
But my mom later in life told me that they had sent her a sheet, some type of paperwork that said since I was the only son at that particular of that family, of our family, that I wasn't going to be deployed, doing that Private Ryan thing. I'm like, okay. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Did you want to be deployed?
Oh, I think every Marine at this point wants to be deployed because that's what you're training for. It's just like going into a fight. You sit there, you have a date, you train because you have a specific job. And you want to do that. You want to push yourself, test your skills, and see where you stand. And I was ready till I went to.
Yeah, but when I fight, my risk is, wow, he hurt me. I get to wake up tomorrow and do it again, most likely, right? The
Right.
chances of death and fighting, they are there, but it's very slim in comparison to, hey, I'm gonna go get a gunfight for a few hours and I'll be back.
Yeah.
Very different. And you guys, you specifically, you're ready for that
Mm-hmm.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
Well, it's because you train alongside these people who become your family, your brothers
absolutely,
and
yeah.
sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a vested interest in their survival because you've got their back and they've got yours.
Mhm.
We're going to do everything possible despite, the different ethnicities, the different political viewpoints, your background, where you're raised. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're all green,
Mm.
So your family. We'll make sure that you're safe as possible because you've got us.
Yeah. Always.
Did you deploy?
My first one back in 06, 07,
Wow.
that was a Westpac, just like Jericho. He's on
Jericho.
the
yeah.
MU, a Marine Expeditionary Unit. It's pretty much a pleasure cruise for about 6 months. You're hitting different ports, you're doing some training here and there. When I was training with that unit, that's when Katrina happened in 05, and we got activated to go and help out over there in Louisiana. So we were in Slidell, and a couple of them went to New Orleans. We were in Biloxi, Mississippi, and for 2 weeks we were helping out the communities over there.
Mhm.
And it was pretty beat up and ravaged, but we didn't see any bodies, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
Just a lot of destruction.
Mhm.
My first real deployment, the way I see it as a deployment, was in 2011. My unit, when I was in 29 Palms, we got sent to southern Helmand province in Afghanistan. At the time, I was attached to a security platoon. They were all grunts, and I was the only one that wasn't. But because I had my logistics background, they needed someone for that. So I got attached to them. Things happened where I disagreed with someone who was higher ranking than me. Then I got sent to watch the camp for about 3 months and communicate with the different companies. And anytime there was an issue with HVAC or anything in the company, I was pretty much making sure that it was running smoothly. After those 3 months, I got sent back to my original job, which is at the hangar in the flight line. So I was putting together all the manifests and all the computer paperwork and sending that off to the different bases so we can communicate and know what's incoming, outgoing, things like that. But that was 7 months. I went on maybe 2-3 convoys before we had my disagreement.
I laugh because that's quite common. You will always have some. Did you get in JP for it?
No, I was very tactful about it because this was a
Boot lieutenant?
no, he was a gunny,
Oh, okay.
an E7 gunnery sergeant, and he heard some rumors. Well, the way he heard what I said was misconstrued, and so I said what I had to say, and I straightened it out because there were 6 of us sergeants, myself being Hispanic, 2 black sergeants, and 3 white sergeants.
Okay.
Guess who was always getting on the shit list?
The 3 minorities.
The 3 of color. And I called him out on it. I said, because he pulled me aside the first week we were in country. He said, "Hey, Kincaid, let me talk to you real quick." "All right, what's up, Vinny?" "So I hear you want me dead."
Holy shit.
"Actually, Gunner Sergeant, no. What I said was I wouldn't mind if you got hit. And here's the reason why. Bam, 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 bam. But if you got hurt and you're still alive, I'll do my due diligence and make sure you get back. But it wouldn't bother me if you got hit." And so that's why I got sent out of that platoon.
Yeah.
I raise the bullshit flag a lot, and
Yeah.
I get in trouble for it.
I grew up that way in my family too. I always say my piece, so I always get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Even here, like, I just kind of speak my mind. You guys hear me all the time. Man, some people take it with a grain of salt. Other people get sensitive.
Mm.
In the Marine Corps, they well, when I was in, I don't know, like I said, I was 90 through 94. And they taught us, do your job. Follow the orders that you were given, then question them. If you have an issue after the job is done, then you can come back and we'll discuss what happened. But right at that particular moment, you need to get that job done. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, cool. So now I question everything. Like, why are we doing it this way? When I already have an idea of what's going to be done, why can't we do it this way? And then some people are like, no, we can't do it that way. It's like, okay. I remember when I was a journeyman sheet metal worker, I had an apprentice who questioned everything I did. I'm like, all right, I appreciate that, but I've already ran through the scenarios of how we're going to make this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it your way, and when you fail, we'll go back and we'll do it my way. And he's like, all right, fine. And about 3 steps into making this particular piece of sheet metal, he's like, oh, well, this doesn't work. It's like, you going to listen to me now, stupid?
Yeah. Yep. It's like fighting, like teaching.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see I'll say something in a million. Frank, can I do it this way? And can it be done like this? Well, I mean, sure, it can be. Probably not the most efficient way. Probably not the safest way.
Mm.
Right? Can be done.
Yeah.
You know, the way I fight is hard, direct, but also extremely safe. I'm a strategist. I like to be protected when I do something and understand the top counters to certain moves. Right? Could something else happen? Sure. That's why you have to be aware. But based off of a bounce of probabilities, is it top 2 or 3 things that can happen? And based off of that, this is why I would do X, right? Why we run through the scenarios and drill out there, because it's important. You know,
Yeah.
go over and over and over. But I get people questioning and want to change and do shit like that. So did you, like Nate, oh, you guys both know Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Nate was deployed a few times,
Mhm.
and we talked about some of his deployments before. Because I had no idea some of the shit that he was ever in.
Mhm.
But he was deployed a few times, I think 3 or 4, I don't know, it was quite a bit. And he talked about some of the gunfights and how scary some of that shit was. Did you guys ever experience any of that stuff?
No, like I said, I wasn't particularly deployed into any regions that were in a conflict. So
I wasn't in any gunfights myself, but during the convoys and even while I was at the base in Afghanistan, you'd see detonations just a few miles away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or you'd hear on the comms, "Hey, this is what's going on here,"
mm-hmm.
and then just the coordination. Like, okay, we're nowhere
How
near.
nerve-wracking is that?
Well, you're always have a heightened sense of alert.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you get back within the wire because you're in a hostile environment.
What's that mean?
Inside your fence. It's like basically you're inside your own yard.
Oh, got it.
So back to your little base.
Yeah.
Damn that. But even when you're back within the safety compound, you're still going to be in that heightened sense of alert because you're in a hostile environment.
Mm-hmm.
The foreign nationals that are coming on base, you don't know their intent. Mm-hmm. There have been countless times where the people that have been working on base, the local nationals, you get to know them. You think you're buddies, building rapport, and then one day they detonate, or they'll shoot up a bunch of people because they're working with the Taliban,
Mm-hmm.
or the enemy of the region. So you can never be too sure.
Yeah.
And then that's what he's describing is also what you'll see a lot of guys who have gone through multiple tours of that particular situation. When you see some crazy vet holed up in his house, that's why. Because he hasn't been able to turn that off. And he's just freaking out most of the time. He's creeping around, peeking through the windows and everything. Mm-hmm. He's afraid that the mailman's about to blow him up or whatever.
Yeah, he had a really hard time when he came back, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he said he remembers kids coming up to him and being like, oh, USA, USA. Or like, he's like, oh, when he first got there, he was all excited. Like, oh, yeah, we're here to help. Ooh, let's do this. And then those kids turn around, go away, go give your location.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said he's been in a gunfight for, I think, over 72 hours. Like, just, damn, that's insanity to me. I don't want to be shot at once, let alone for hours at a time,
Mm-hmm.
days at a time.
For 3 days, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking insane. So, it just, I couldn't imagine. You know what I mean? So when I hear veterans and stuff come back and deal with people who, A, either don't appreciate them or can't take themselves out of their shoes to understand what these people have gone through, to give you the even opportunity to even have a shitty opinion, you know what I mean? You don't respect them or appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off. Because I've seen the after effect. I worked at a call center and I worked with 2 kids. And they're in their 20s. Came back and one kid was just fucked up. Just always having to go see his therapist. Always, and he seemed like a nice kid. No problem. Then figured out he was a Marine, just got back. Constantly going, and then all of a sudden he just didn't come to work one day.
Mm-hmm.
He deleted himself, and it's crazy to think, what the hell? He was a nice kid. Just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, when I got out, I don't know how it is. Like I said, I don't know how it is now, but they basically give you a sheet of paper, says you were either a good Marine or a bad Marine, kick you to the curb and go, thanks, that's it. There is no real transition from being more or less perfectly disciplined all day to you're just free to roam. Now I have no purpose now. I've always thought that they needed a better transition from military life to civilian life.
Mm-hmm.
And because they want you to come in as a reservist, right? Still?
Depending on if you've done your 8 contractual years,
Mm-hmm.
because any contract is 8 years,
Right.
whether you know it
Right.
or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I only did 4. Well, you did 4 active, but you have your 4 inactive that you can get called back at any time during those 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you do the reserves, 2 years in the reserves, 6 inactive, which is uncommon for that type of contract.
Oh, yeah.
Or 4 in the reserves and then 4 inactive. It's still 8 years, When I got out, because I served from 03 to 2012, thanks to Supreme Overlord Obama, forced out because Obama downsized the military. And I wasn't an ass kisser, so they weren't going to keep me around. Got out as a sergeant E5. you go through what's called tap and tam or tamp and tam,
Something like that. Yeah.
It's 2 weeks of pretty much, all right, let's set up your resume. This is how you interview.
Dude, they didn't even do that for me.
It was real basic bullshit work. Anyway, no real preparation. During that time, I was just trying to get schooling set up. So as soon as I was done with my service, I'd go straight into the university and start working towards a degree. But it should really be like a 2 to 3 month course of how to transition from military to civilian lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different. You can't tell someone here, you're being stupid, go and fuck yourself.
You can, but it doesn't mean they're going to.
Yeah, because now you have to worry about people's feelings. You have to worry about HR. You have to worry about admin. You gotta sugarcoat things so you don't offend anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not, hey, you're being stupid. Get your head out of your ass. All right? Or fucking work. You know?
Do your fucking job, dude.
Do your job.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to stay in the military?
Oh, I wanted to. Because right now I would be at like 18 or 19 years, looking to retire pretty soon. And then starting another job. So I'd be getting one retirement paycheck, steady, and then doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Yeah, to be honest, I never thought about exiting that to come here that way, right? In that fashion, like, because you're so disciplined, have to do it this way, this way, this way, and now it's like there's no. Now what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't thought about it from that perspective.
You see it a lot in prisoners too. Guys who've been in jail a long time.
Indoctrinated.
Yes, they have been indoctrinated. They don't know. They're so used to their routines. They'll have minimal crap in their domicile, I guess, whatever it is they have, and then they're going through. Okay, every morning I get up at 5. By 5:30, I'm having breakfast. Then they go through their day, and they're doing that same routine. So they're just like, oh, okay. I don't know how to handle the outside world, so they'll go back because for one, that's all they know, and two, it's honestly safer for them. So those are my opinions, but I have seen it. So.
Yeah. Was it? Did you guys find it difficult to keep a job in the beginning or anything like that?
Oh yeah. I think I've spent, when I got out in 94, I spent 2 years on unemployment. Then got a job with the post office as a seasonal worker. Got basically laid off, let go, whatever. I always tell people because I didn't have my own gun at the time. Let's see. Carlo gets it. For those of you who don't know, that term going postal was defined then because, postal workers would go crazy and shoot everybody up.
I remember that.
So then I spent another year and a half or so on unemployment. Just keeping a job, period, was difficult. Even up until about 10 years ago. Still dealing with dumb shit. People. Mm-hmm. You get so set in your ways of you're stupid. Knock that shit off. Mm-hmm. Stop acting like an idiot. We're here to work. Just let's do our job and go home. And you're like, whatever. Like, come to work, be on time, do what you got to do, go home. That's all we all want to do. And they're like, no, I don't want to. It's like, all right, fine, whatever.
I don't need
Isn't that
a
fun?
job. I'm
Yeah,
live off of mommy and daddy.
Exactly.
Isn't that fun? Here's your job. Here's your job description. Is that what you want to do? Yes, cool. Sign here. Well, I know this is your job description, but I don't really want to do that. And you said I got to be here by 8, but can I be here by 8:30? Because, I don't want to get up, and I got to get Starbucks first. And It's fucking mind blowing.
Mhm.
Mind blowing.
Adjust your schedule to your start time. That's all there is to it. If you're supposed to be at point A, like this morning, 7:00,
Yeah.
right? I was here at 6:40, just because.
Well, I closed till midnight last night, so
Well, that's understandable.
that's why I was only 10 minutes prior.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of
So, and again, punctuality with most military is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Because if you are not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Mhm.
And it's like, what the hell, dude? Where have you been? It's like, formation's not till 7. Yeah, but you should have been here 15 minutes ago.
My grandpa was in the Navy, and he was very big on being on time. He ain't never gonna be late,
Mm-hmm.
right? And his biggest thing was if you're on time, you're late.
Yep.
That was always his
Yep.
big deal, pushing. And even it's funny because I never thought about the transition from one to the next.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember being young every morning at the same exact time, hearing the fucking coffee pot brew. Gets out of bed, does his stretches, does his thing, has his coffee, has a paper, has his breakfast, goes on his walk. But it was so just
Rigid.
Rigid,
Yep.
structured.
Yep.
I never thought about how, where, or why he would have done that. I just thought it was his way. But it sounds like it very much could have been just, this is what you do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's exactly what it was. Because in the Navy, he would get up at a specific time. Then he'd go to chow. And then he'd go probably to PT. Then he'd go to work.
Mhm.
And then he'd go to lunch.
Yeah, his
And-
work is funny too because his work was taking care of my aunt and my grandma. Remember driving down to the store, get the paper, drop off. He keeps a sports page and then he dropped the paper off with his sister and my aunt, and do little things around her house. We leave. But it's like, how much you have to do around that lady's house, man? It's perfect. There's literally not a goddamn thing wrong in it. But you still get off every day, drop off the paper, take a look around, walk in. I look around, like, yep, still perfect. It's like she doesn't do anything, you know? So what is she going to touch? And, yeah, it's pretty wild. Well, cool. Appreciate that. That gave me more insight to that stuff, so that's neat. I'm going to go reflect on that shit for like months. 'Cause I'm a psycho. Now, coming to transitioning or why, I don't say, not what or why, but what got you guys into martial arts?
I had basically always wanted to do martial arts
Mhm.
as a kid. Again, I saw it as a way out of my town, or for martial arts. To be completely honest, I saw Karate Kid, and that sparked it.
The original one.
The original one, and I wanted to be Daniel-san, and I was like, all right, this is wicked cool. I can do this. Somehow or another, it never happened until I put my son in. And then when I put my son in, I've slowly realized that he is not a fighter of any type. I swear he is a reincarnated 80-year-old black lady in a 16-year-old boy's body. Because... And don't get me wrong, I love my son, obviously. But I think he's trying to bring back the hippies because he wears bell bottoms and polyester and wears his hair down long, and he's all into the crystals, which is nothing wrong. And I like the crystals and the gemstones and shit like that too. Those are cool. It's like, okay. So he wasn't into it, and I was like, well, we're still paying for this. Let me talk to him and see if I can do it.
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, sure. I'll go, I'm going to take Braden's spot. And they're like, okay. And that was it. That was all I needed.
Yeah.
So I did that for 5 years. I got my black belt in Mugen Bujitsu. And there was a dark time in my life at that point. And I had to step away. And then I found a friend, and we just started beating the crap out of each other. And then
At the church.
at church, yeah.
Yeah.
And then met Nate.
Mhm.
Nate's like, hey, you guys can't be doing that. you're gonna get hurt, which we did, and then we came here, and it's a lot more structured now.
Yeah.
It's a lot better.
I was always active as a kid. So ASO, I did about a year of Taekwondo, wrestled in high school. I was a martial arts instructor in the Marine Corps. Got to be a black belt
So
martial
McMap,
arts
right?
instructor. Yeah, McMap.
MAP or MAP? MAT or MAP?
McMap.
MAP. Got it.
Martial arts
Marine
program.
Corps Martial
Got it.
Arts Program. So we did a lot of grappling and striking. I got out, and I was going to Fitness 19 over by the lake.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Max and Masha.
Oh.
Because we lived in the same complex.
Yeah.
And so we'd always be talking, oh, we'll teach you some Muay Thai. Like, all right. You know, never really got around to it because I was more into lifting. It was just for my own sanity at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was my escape for dealing with not being in the service anymore. And going through school and everything like that. And so one day I'm like, hey, Max, I see that you got hired on at this new gym. I'll check it out. And it was your gym.
Yeah.
The one in
The old location.
The old location.
Yeah.
So I went in, did the free introductory class. You came up and you're like, hey, you want to be a fighter? I'm like, no. I'm here to train. I'm too broken. I've got so many injuries to be a fighter. Maybe before I had busted my wrist playing soccer in an adult league, like a year prior. Maybe before that I would have entertained the idea.
Yeah.
But being busted up with knee, back, and then my nerve damage in my neck, like, no. I'm just here to train and learn. So I started learning jits with Ali when he was teaching. And I'm like, oh, this is an easy transition from wrestling. Stuck with that, and I still did Nate's class and then your class as well for the cardio. And then just stuck with it.
Yeah.
This place has saved me through my dark period. And I think I've told you like once or twice too. Like, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
You're going through some shit right now, but thank you.
Same, dude. Same. Many times. Many times over. So, I mean, you guys save us all the time. We're here because, what you guys do. But this MMT is supposed to be a safe place for everyone. Myself included, right? I get to come here, speak my mind, say what I want to say, talk shit. It's kind of like a barbershop. You know what I mean? Just shop talk. It is what it is. And even the ladies that come here, you know what I mean? They understand it, right? Because they know we'll talk shit and you might hear some boys be boys, but at the end of the day, you're safe here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? No one's going to hurt you. We'll teach you. You're going to learn. You'll have some self-defense, some awareness, you'll feel comfortable, I talked to a lady yesterday, a strategist, on marketing and what to do next, how do I market, to the next generation of people. And one of her things, she's like, Frank, you need to try looking at the world through a female lens and what some of us are afraid to do and don't like to do. And she's like, I was with a group of friends. We were all drinking. We were going to take an Uber. And we didn't because we were all afraid, what if something happens or we end up by ourselves and what if he attacks us, da-da-da, right? So they all have an Uber app, but none of them use it because of fear, right? So she said you should, offer some self-defense classes and so on and so forth. It's hard. Some of those things are hard for me because I understand the real world and I understand the difference between fighting and violence.
Yeah.
Right. A controlled environment with a fighter is not the same as an uncontrolled environment with somebody who just understands violence. Right. I'm not going to go for a heel hook and a leg lock and, oh, look, I have two hands on your foot. I'm going to elbow you in the back of the fucking head and I'll continue to smash it until you're unconscious. right? I'm not going to kick you in the thigh and be like, oh, I scored a point. I'm going to kick your knee the wrong way and watch you try to stand up. You know? Like, it's just a very different type of thing, and I don't know. I haven't figured a way out to teach a woman that, right? Like, your job is not to be violent. Your job is to see things happen before they happen, have awareness of your surroundings and what weapon this guy's trying to use, whether it's a punch, a knee, how to defend it, make sure he's not able to do it, and get the fuck out of there. Your job is not to stay in front of him and go rounds, right? Like, that's not it, you know? So I had to figure a way out to do that. So, because I think it is important. I think they should be comfortable. I think also my problem when I heard that yesterday, my fucking alarm went off and it was really hard for me to keep a cool shoulder because she's helping me, right? She's giving me these ideas, and it just, the first thing is, you know, as a woman, Frank, you just understand how hard it is and what kind of fears we have walking as a woman. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, you know what fucking kind of fear we have walking as a guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every fucking dude is afraid to walk out on the streets by themselves at night. I don't care what they fucking tell you. Right? They're not going to tell you it, but we're not, because we're not allowed, because then we'll be a bitch. We can't walk around as a victim because we will be one.
Yep.
Right? Much faster than a woman will. Right? Most guys will protect a woman. They see a guy getting jumped, ain't nobody doing shit. World star. Right? That's what you're going to get.
That fucker deserved it.
Yeah. You don't know. No one asks questions. But if a girl gets jumped or hit, there is no question. If a guy's hit a woman, there's not going to be any questions asked. Did you? They're just going to jump in and protect her. Right? Versus if a guy's getting jumped by a couple dudes, just, damn, what do you do? He said something, huh? Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that guys don't say that leads people to believe this stuff. I mean, 99.99% of guys never punched in the mouth, never been put in a physical altercation where they would have to defend themselves outside of a controlled environment like this, which still, this is something I think 95% of the population would never do, right? So then to take it to that next level of, oh, this is for real, you know? Guys aren't about that. I know fighters that are not about that. They're okay with it because it's controlled here, and it's, oh, I want to challenge myself. I really want to do this, but it's not for me, but I really want to do it. You know what I mean?
Then do it.
Yeah, then do it.
Then do it.
So but to put that, to take that away and say, hey, there's this guy talking about you on the street, go handle it. Nope, nope, nope. You know what I mean? They don't want that kind of smoke. You know? So I think some of those generalizations to say that men have it easy because we're men, that we'd have no fear anymore, is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because I know a lot of guys that live in fear, and I know a lot of guys that don't do certain things out of fear. Well, why don't you go out to the bar? Ah, man, it's just not for me. It's just you don't have anyone to go with, and you feel insecure about who you are, what you are. You don't feel confident, right? It's a lack of self-esteem. It's a lack of, like, I don't know the word, but
You don't want to be thought of as a creeper, in my opinion. For me, I see a lot of people are, you know, especially women, they're like, oh, well, I can dress however I want. Well, yeah, but if you don't want somebody to approach you, don't dress that way.
Also know your environment.
Exactly. Know your environment. Know why you're going to where you're going and what's going to be there. You know, if I were to go to a lot of these ladies that we have here at the gym out on the street and just start chatting them up, they're going to look at me like, dude, what in the fuck is wrong with you? Go away. Now, unless I'm extremely attractive, then they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
yeah.
Otherwise, you know, your average individual's like, no, this guy's he's probably going to just want to rape me or whatever. It's like, dude, I just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And maybe see if we got something in common. If not, then I'll be on my way. You know?
That's where we differ. Like you, Frankie, I'm an introvert. I don't want to get to nobody. All right? Leave me alone. I keep to myself. I come here to the gym. I go surfing. I work, and I'm at home. I read, listen to music, or I'll go to shows, you know, concerts, and be able to smash into people, get my aggression out that way. But
Yeah.
I keep to myself. I don't like going out in public, you know.
Well, I don't either. But I'm just saying that's what you see.
No, 1,000%. I'm an introvert, 100%.
I am too.
I don't like giant public spaces, and it's not, for me, it's not fear of people. Before it used to be, right? I'd get somewhere and I'd size up a room. You look at it like, oh fuck, okay, where's the easiest exit? Here's how I get out. That's the worst dude to deal with here. If someone goes out, that's the first one I'm taking care of. You know what I mean?
I
And
still do that.
I do too.
But I did it out of a place of that wasn't good. It was fear. Because I never fought. I never knew anything, right? So you have this weird mentality of like, okay, this is how I'm going to protect myself, even though you don't know what the fuck you're doing, right? Now, I could give two shits, but I avoid certain things, right? Like last call. Last call is at 2 a.m. I'm out by 12. Because liquid courage and all those stupid fucks at the end of the night,
Yep.
I'm dealing with you, right? The likelihood of me leaving 2 hours early and not seeing or dealing with anything like that is very high. Where if I stay and now everyone's leaving at the same time and trying to talk to someone or do now the likelihood of someone saying something to you and it goes up. I don't need that. I just don't want that in my life because I have too much to lose, right? If this guy says something, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about me hitting him and then him hitting the floor.
Mm-hmm.
If he hits his head wrong, goes into a coma, and now I'm going to fucking prison and man's all this other crazy shit for what? You know what I mean?
Ego.
Because he
Because
called
you
you
spouted
fat,
off, yeah.
or because he said something stupid. Yeah, bet I'm out. So there's certain things that I do now to avoid confrontation that way, just because I know it is a possibility, right? Going to fights, like I used to go to fights all the time, right? Until you get to enough of them where it's, I just can't deal with the ignorance of stupid people, Kick his ass, you pussy. You're a bitch. I'm like, dude, this guy's in there killing himself. You don't understand what he sacrificed to be in there. You're out here talking shit. Show some respect. Leave him alone. Because I've been in there. I understand it. Right? Now I have to sit here and listen to your dumbass who doesn't know even how to, what a stance is or how to throw a punch.
Probably can't even hold his fist right.
You know what I mean? So it's like those kind of things. I'm like, oh my god, just shut the. All right, I'm out. Like I gotta go. I'll watch the fights from home. Like no, And people, I'm notorious for it. We'll be out. I've literally held fights for members and stuff. We'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll have a bunch of tables reserved. We'll have a bunch of people show up. Great time. 3 fights before the end of the night, man. As soon as I hear
See you, boys.
somebody start getting loud or cups breaking or people are just getting stupid, you'll look around like, where's Franco? I'm already home.
Yep.
Nope. Because I ain't dealing with that shit. I ain't got time to deal with it because it's everyone looks to either the coach, the head coach, or the biggest guy. Will you help fix this? Fucker, I didn't fix it. That wasn't my problem.
I didn't start it.
You know what I mean?
Why should I fix it?
And growing up, once I was fighting, I had a lot of friends do that. Right? They wouldn't even introduce me. Oh, this is Frankie. I didn't even get that. Hey, my boy that fights, that's him. That's what I was telling you about. Bitch, what the fuck? We're in the middle of the bar. Why would you say that? Because now some asshole with fucking a gallon of beer in his throat is going to fucking be, oh yeah, you're bad, huh? Like, fuck. Because I've had to deal with it multiple times, I was just bragging about you, and this guy was talking shit, and I told him you could kick his ass. What the fuck? What?
Why are you getting me involved in your shit?
I just got here. Like, what the hell is happening right now? So, there's, certain things I'm just like, nah.
I don't know. I think fortunately for me, I've got the male equivalent of resting bitch face. So people leave me alone.
Yeah, so do I.
I get asked almost daily, are you okay? Are you angry? No, motherfucker, this is just my face.
Yeah, it's just the way it sits, man. You don't like it, move on.
But once you get to know me, I'm a fairly decent person.
No, you're both nice guys. You're both very nice guys. You go out of your way. You're always attentive. You stay extra time, help people on the mat, be better martial artists, be better people. You give your time. You know what I mean? And I don't think everyone gets to see that sometimes.
Yeah.
People are quick to judge.
My face deters a lot of people. Oh,
Really?
He looks angry.
Try walking around looking like the freaking Aryan nation. Exactly.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Spaceballs.
the martial arts and training and everything that you guys get to do here, what's your favorite part?
Honestly, for me, being I want to say being the unforeseen role model. Because when I joined, I told you my main reason for coming in was so I could whip kids half my age, and I do. But at the same time, I have those guys coming up to me and telling me, "Dude, you're a beast." It's like you are always putting in work, and I do. And I try to as much as possible.
Yeah, you do.
I'll come in and I'll roll for an hour, and then I'll do Thai for an hour. Now I've started another step to that, so I'll come in an hour early, and I'll do the Stairmaster and the treadmill, and then go roll and do all that. It's like I want these guys to, not just the young kids, but everybody to go, dude, if that old bastard can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So that I think that's for me, that and the camaraderie of everybody coming in and knowing why we're here and what we're doing, and just it's a lot like boot camp.
You hit exactly what I was going to say, the camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's that sense of belonging, the
Absolutely.
safe
Yes.
family. You preach family all the time. And that's what I feel here, because we have one another's backs, no matter what it is.
When you walk in, you see certain people, and those people are always, "Hey, what's going on?" Come up, shake your hand, give fist bump, give you a hug, whatever. And you're like, yes, that's what I needed today, whether you know it or not. You come in and it's
Sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the parts I like. I've been told that MMT has a cult following by numerous people. And I was just like, is that a bad thing? I don't get it, because everyone who comes in at one point is the outsider, right?
Yeah.
You come in the new person, like, everybody knows each other here. This is fucking weird. Do I belong here? Everyone's like doing shit. Where do I fit? And then
You sure you don't want to change the name to Cheers?
I thought about it. And then you think, and then you look at some point, you see someone walk in. Well, who's this new motherfucker? And all of a sudden, you're not that new dude no more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're one of the dudes, and you become one of the guys,
But you come in, you do 2 or 3 rounds or 2 or 3 classes, and then you're like, somebody knows your name. Somebody's talking to you. Somebody's, hey, come here a minute. Let me help you with your stance. Or look, if you throw that hook a little bit different, oh, okay, cool. Like you, constantly helping me out with my jiu-jitsu, always. And it's like, dude, I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, when you somebody that's willing to take the time to get to know you is always welcome.
Funny thing about when you say about me giving the critiques in the middle of a roll, I've had quite a few of the guys say, when I roll with you, I learn so much. And it's not just you're smashing us because you can.
Right.
And I'm not going 100%, keeping you guys smashing everything. I'm working what I'm working, let you guys work, and I'll pause and give you guys hints. Like, okay, I'm holding this for a certain amount of time.
Like,
hello. What do you see?
Yeah.
Is this something you can do, or is this dangerous?
Yeah.
That you need to get out of?
Absolutely.
And then so I'll let you guys work. And when I've covered class for gym a couple times, the way I have taught, because I was a wrestling coach as well, the situational sparring helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're going to find yourself in certain spots many times, and you got to know how to get out of them.
Yep.
And like the past few months, I've been doing the Saturday stand-up classes. But because of work lately, I haven't been able to. But when you're in competition jiu-jitsu, or if you're in a real-world scenario and you have to know how to get in and close the distance and take the fight to the ground, different setups, different techniques on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I started working with Jeff because he wanted to work his stand-up, and then Garrett came, Brennan, Tame has come by, Big Mark, the other purple belt.
Mm-hmm.
Just guys have been coming in just to learn a little bit more about that, and I get gratification knowing that I'm passing on something or being helpful to
contributing.
others.
Yeah.
It's important, man. It's fun. It's probably the best part. Teaching, watching people's eyes go, whoa, fuck. What was that? Oh, shit, I've never seen that before. You could do that? Right? Those are super fun moments to me.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not even charging for what I'm doing. You know, it's just me giving my time back.
Yeah. See, and that's the crazy part, too. Is every gym I've ever worked for, which is why I wanted to do my own, is so monetary based, which I understand it's a business. You have to charge. I get it.
You got to pay the bills somehow, man.
But, I mean, it got to the point at some of those gyms I was at where it was like, okay, let's have them do a 10-second squat down low, 10-second squat up high. By the time they're done with this, you know what I mean, and you do this, this, and this, you'll only have to hold pads for like 5 minutes. I'm like, but you're stealing, right? You're taking their money and teaching them nothing. I could train you solid for the next 5 years and you still suck, right? You'll be better. You'll be better than most people, but you're still not going to be good enough to be what I consider a striker. You got a lot of work to do, right? Especially if you're only doing it an hour a week, right? Like, that's not enough time, you know? And we'd get in arguments, they'd change pay structure, all kinds of crazy shit. So when I started, I offered a Thai program, you know, and I did it for free. And he was just like, hey, what was that? What do you mean? He's like, those people in the ring, what are you doing? It's like, I was teaching a Thai class. Like, you guys have jiu-jitsu class, right, which is 2 people drilling and working over moves over and over and over and over, right? And I've constantly been around this. And with striking, we never did that. You'd have a guy get in front and say, okay, go spar. Cool. He teach you a couple punches or whatever, and then you continue to spar. Whatever you learn in class, you go spar. Like, there was never, unless you paid to go to a seminar, right, a class like that every day. They just didn't offer them. So I was like, well, I want to do that. I want to teach people the way I see jiu-jitsu people teach. Here's how you do the armbar. Okay, well, here's how you throw a jab. Here's how you throw a cross. Here's how you throw a switch kick. Here's how you throw a kick. Right, and then we're going to drill that all the fucking time. And then I'm going to show you how to defend it. And then based off of that defense, I'll show you a countermeasure, a counter to the counter. And then if you're lucky, I might teach you a trick or a flying technique or something else, you know. And then we would do that during the week, you know. And he was just like, why are you doing it? And I was like, because I want to be paid for it. But right now, I'm just going to do it to show you that I would rather teach a class like this than that, you know. And all of a sudden, it went from like 2, 4, 6, 12, 20-some people. People just really took a liking to it, you know. So I was the first one to do it throughout all of the LA Boxing's UFC gyms. And then when they wanted to tell me they introduced some other hit, like cardio shit, like before 9 rounds was a thing. It was like, you do this, do this, do this, do this. And, you know, that was their class structure. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not why I got into this, right? I like martial arts. I like fighting, you know, because I know what it can do for men and women too, but I'm a big advocate for men. People know that. I understand what it's like to be a dude, walk around with the stigma, be tough even when you're not tough. You have to learn how to be that. And if you learn how to do that, you're confident. Confident transpires into everything that you do. Talking to people, looking somebody in the eyes, dealing with women. All of the things that will make your life better can come from your confidence and knowing that you can defend yourself. So I just said, man, I'll teach you free then. Don't pay me. Fuck it. So then when I ended up leaving, that was a huge part of why I wanted to leave. You know, called my buddy, said, hey, I got to get out of here. I got to do my own thing. I can't do this shit.
Yeah.
So the class that I have, the Thai class, has always been something that I just offer. It's extra. You know, I don't charge extra for it. It's just part of your deal. You guys get a seminar 4 days a week that typically someone would pay fuck tons of money to be in. You know, and you guys get all that information and knowledge, which is why when I help people, I'm like, dude, pay attention. You know, there's been other people I've tried to help and give excess information to just because I can see that they're either A, not picking it up, or they're just kind of struggling. usually it's met like, dude, yes, fuck you, thank you for showing an interest in me, I love it, cool, I got you. And there's been a couple instances it's like, well, I don't know, man, my schedule's kind of busy, let me check and I'll get back to you. And I'm just like, bitch, I will never show you another fucking thing again. If I see you in class, I'm like, yeah, good job, but I'm never gonna come critique you because you're the know-it-all guy. You're the guy that knows it. Oh, I got it. Well, if you had it, I wouldn't have to fucking teach you because you got 2 left feet and I would fucking kill you if I wanted to, you know. But some people's egos are so big they can't learn, right? They're uncoachable. So
and I like it when you're teaching class, even on the bags, and you give me those little micro adjustments.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
And those translate into the micro adjustments that you're telling me on the mat as we're rolling. It's like, no, you need to just adjust that hip just a little bit as you roll in. Oh, okay. And now it's like, bam. So, and
they're important. Fighting is so intricate.
What you were saying when you told me that story about the guy that here,
Yeah.
I was telling my partner at work that same story, and I was like, if you had offered that to me, I would have been, okay. The next day I would have told my partner, hey, we're changing our work schedule so I can go train because of what you're offering.
Yeah.
That's just me. I mean, I would do it too. I'd be like, oh, no, we don't start work till 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Dude, his mind going, like, I just couldn't believe it. This kid struggled so bad. Like, hey, man, I got you. You know, let me help you because you're clearly not getting it. And every time you step out here, you're getting your ass kicked. And I can see it. It bothers you, but you're not figuring it out, you know? And I feel bad for your story, so I'll work with you twice a week, early in the morning, if you can be here by 5. Because I got shit to do. I have classes at 6, I got clients at 7, I got class at 8:30. I don't have time after that. Oh, man, that's early. Okay, yeah, let me check my schedule and I'll see. And then he just is like, the second he said that, I looked at him with this, like,
No,
what?
man.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Like, it was probably one of the most, like,
heartbreaking,
I don't
man.
think I'm an egotistical person. I mean, I have to be for fighting, but I don't really think I project that too much usually.
No.
And in that moment, I could feel it. I felt my ego come out and look at me like, you believe this bitch? Like,
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker, does he not know who you are? Like,
Does he not know what he's about to get?
like, motherfucker. Like, and in my head, I started doing the math. I was like, $1.25 an hour is what I would charge this motherfucker. That's $250 a week. That's $500 every 2 weeks. $1,000 a month I'm willing to give this kid to make sure he gets better so he can just have a better quality of life. And he's just
You know what?
Yeah.
It's not for me.
yeah, no. I'd rather just live a shitty lifestyle. That's cool. Because I guarantee you, the way I see you hold yourself, the way your head's down, the way your shoulders slouch forward, you're not confident.
No.
Guarantee you ain't getting laid, right? What type of life are you living? How good is it? Life is great doing stuff, but it's always a little bit better when you have someone to do it with,
Yeah.
right? Life can be great.
Well, that depends.
Wonder Woman 1984. Life is good, but it could be better.
Yes. Bro, facts. And I want every man to live that life, the best life that they can possibly have. I want to help them get it, right? So seeing this kid like this, I'm just like, yeah, I could definitely help this kid for sure. Because I've helped countless. And to hear that, I was just like, you're dumb. You're dumb. But okay. Teach your own.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, but now I booked those spots at 5. Now I have clients, and so, tough shit.
Their loss.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I would love to say thank you for your service. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And I know even the idiots out there who would never tell you they do too.
Well, it was, I would say it was a good time, but it was a time for sure.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I was thinking about that earlier is sometimes things I think can be misunderstood or misconstrued, right? Just like I was talking about brothers and sisters, how we treat each other, right? Fighters here, I'll be hard on someone, but if I see someone hard on them, you know, that's especially that's not a member here, they can get that ass. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can get some. Same thing, branches, military, you know, you guys talk shit on each other, but God forbid someone fuck with that branch. You're going to come make sure that shit's taken care of, right? I think same thing too. I've spoken to many militaries like, oh yeah, this happened, these fuckers, and this, that, da, da, da. But then you put that flag in front of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or you try to talk shit on their branch.
Mm.
Whoa. I could talk shit because I was in there. You shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So, even though things may not have been perfect, do you regret it?
Absolutely not. I'm 50 years old, and if I could go back, I would. And I'd still do all the same shit that I did. And I'd do it again.
Good for you.
I'd go back. The only thing I would change is not go on recruiting duty. Oh, and messing with the baby mama. 'Cause that's a lot of drama right there.
Well, those are bad choices, but hey.
But everything else, hands down, would do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you hear that? Even though sometimes you'll hear people say some shit, doesn't always mean what your negative ass thinks it means. Because these motherfuckers will do it all again. So, gentlemen, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
And
Yep.
thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always. So, all right, ladies and gents, that's a wrap. That was another one. If you have questions, comment below, like, all that other stuff, subscribe, tell your friends. We're trying to make it out here. That's it.
Get down here. Join this gym. Come on.
What he said.
Take a class with Frankie. Get on the mat with us. Even old man here will teach you some stuff.
I'll teach you some shit. Don't you worry.
You hear that? You're going to get taught. All right, ladies and gents, we're out. Boom.